You are watching Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. It's been a sort of a bittersweet morning for India, mostly bitter. The only sweet spot there was that 25th Test 100 that Virat Kohli got, but now he's been dismissed. So that's the scorecard at the moment. India struggling, I would use that word, 252 for 7. Virat Kohli, the only bright spot there with 123. Two other batsmen got start. Rishabh Pant still there, Hanuma Vihari with 20 odd runs, but that means India are now staring down the barrel because remember 326 is what Australia managed. Joining me, Murali Kartik, VVS Laxman, Damien Martyn, also Melinda Farrell joins us from right outside the Optus Stadium at Perth. Melinda, first up, what is the common consensus there in the press box that Virat Kohli dismissal, was he out or not?
Well, those ones are always really hard. I think most people probably have a bit of sympathy towards those because the foreshortening of the camera angles, the more it's slowed down, the more it's looked at, the harder it actually is. So I don't think anyone will be having real problems with that. There are always those questions where some people will say it's one way, some people will say it's the other. It becomes really difficult, but it doesn't take away from what was a fantastic innings from Virat Kohli, clearly with a few things to say with the bat rather than with his mouth.
Well, taking in from that, as you mentioned, had a few things to say with the bat. I mean, usually that's the gesture that you see from a player when he's got a lot of criticism. I haven't been reading any sort of criticism coming Virat Kohli's way in the last 12 months as far as the Indian media or generally, opinions in India are concerned. Was there something that was written in the Australian press?
I don't think so. I mean, I can't say exactly what's in Virat Kohli's head. Maybe there's a little suggestion in there that in the past the Australians have been so vocal. Obviously, that's become a huge talking point since even before the whole incident at Newlands, but afterwards as well. And I mean, perhaps he was just saying, look, you don't have to actually go out there and be very verbal. I haven't heard that there's been too much going out there on the field during this series, so I can't imagine he would be responding to anything directly. And I think most of the press I've read about Virat Kohli has been pretty positive about him. It's hard to have a go at him. It was a real battling innings from him there today, often not having too many batting around him, especially once he lost Rahane. He was copping a fair bit as well. They had the magic spray, physio running it out there to him when he copped a couple of blows. So it was a typical tough, gritty innings from Virat Kohli and a lot to be admired.
Well, yeah, that's the correct word. Gritty innings from Virat Kohli. This, in fact, is his second slowest Test 100. We'll talk about that in detail. Melinda, thanks so much for joining us. Well, I'm going back to that gesture that he made. Let me get Kartik in on that. That gesture that he made, I'll let my bat do all the talking. That, as I was talking to Melinda, that usually comes from a batsman that, has been going through a bad phase, a lot of criticism, and then he says, okay, now I've got my 100. But this man has never gone out of form. I can't remember anyone criticizing him. Why would he be upset?
God knows. It's only Virat Kohli who can answer that question. And I don't even know what it means, to be very honest. Is the bat opening its mouth and closing? I don't know. Seriously, you got the wrong.
And this is the second time. This is not the first time it happened. Exactly. It happened when he got 100, I think, in the second ODI against West Indies. Yeah. So we're not sure. I mean, it's only Virat Kohli who can tell what's the meaning of that celebration.
Okay, but I'm going to put you guys in a spot because I want to know if Virat Kohli's bat could talk. You have to tell me in one line, what would it say? Starting with you.
Genius.
Okay. No, so this is his bat talking, as you're saying. I'll let my bat do the talking. If that had to say something, what would the bat say?
What would the bat say? Is run machine.
Okay, Damien, if Virat Kohli's bat could talk, what would it say?
Just runs. Just runs.
Just runs. Okay.
And he was out.
And he was out. Okay. You think I was out too?
Yeah, I think, again, as Melinda rightly put, sometimes the angles when the cameras replay show is not conclusive. But from one angle, it felt as if the ball just landed on the ground. But majority of the angles we saw when they were showing the replay was that the fingers were underneath the ball. So it's always tough decision. And I think the soft signal, which I don't really agree with, was out, which was Dharmasena, and that's what the third umpire had taken into consideration. But the angles are so inconclusive, the camera work, even though the quality of cameras have improved, even today I thought it was a little inconclusive.
Okay, he was walking away disappointed, but
Yeah.
that's how all these batsmen are. They never want to get out, no matter how.
See,
close
he was
they
the
are.
closest. When you edge and you see the man behind, sometimes you know. Even I had an iota of doubt, to be very honest. I wasn't sure about because the odd angle, it just gives you a decent enough idea as to how the ball went. So I had my doubts about that decision.
Okay, let's go back now to the start of the day, and I'll start with Ajinkya Rahane. Now, if there was ever a time that it was good for batting on this track, you would assume it would be that first half because you had the heavy roller. In that sense, that was against the run of play, you'd say, and set India back.
Yep, firstly, good captaincy from Tim Paine to straight away start with Nathan Lyon. Because you assume, even though that new ball was available probably in 10 overs time, but you assume that the two fast bowlers will operate and then Nathan Lyon will come probably after 4 or 5 overs. But brilliant captaincy, and I thought Ajinkya Rahane was a little tentative because he was beaten by not the turn, but the way the ball drifted away from the right-hander, and because of which the bat just went ahead of the body and away from the body. And brilliant catch from Tim Paine. But I thought that it was just little lazy, just little tentative, and at the start of the innings you have to be fully focused, like the way you saw Virat Kohli right from the first ball, the intent, the positive footwork. I think Ajinkya was just little slow and tentative.
Okay, we're talking about Ajinkya Rahane and the point that VVS makes here. Good captaincy by Tim Paine, and that is now illustrated by these graphics. Now look at those off-break against off-break bowlers. He's got 5 dismissals. 103 runs is what he's got at an average of 20. So that is against off-spinners that he's kind of struggled. Damien, do you reckon this is something that the Australian team management had their eyes on, had studied this, and that was the reason that Tim Paine got Lyon to begin with?
Certainly can be. I think we know now, done with all the stats that go on and the research behind and before the series, I think both teams will look at all players and how you get out, what weaknesses. And as we heard then, it's great captaincy. You look at that and go, okay, we're going to put Nathan Lyon on. We back him. We see these figures. And also as a batsman, it's like if you know a bowler out there, you just find hard to face. You struggle to make runs and they get you out all the time. Then they put that ball, might be a left arm spinner or it might be a leg spinner or some way a bowler swinging the ball in or swinging the ball away, and that's where the captain comes in and says, okay, let's put pressure on that batsman by putting a bowler on that they're going to feel uncomfortable with.
All right, we're already getting a lot of comments on YouTube. I can see a lot of them saying it's not a clean catch, but I can also see most of them are Indian fans, so that's no surprise that they thought it wasn't a clean catch. Okay, now where the match stands at the moment, India having lost those wickets, you at the end of day 2 were hoping that India gets some sort of lead to get into the match. That's looking unlikely.
Yeah, absolutely, because you've seen what has happened now. If Virat and Rishabh Pant were there and it was a tempered effort or an approach from Rishabh Pant today, I was hoping that they get close to it and then they unleash a few strokes, but that's not to be, because there are 4 number 11s, as you said, one's already gone. There'll be a bit of stonewalling from Ishan, but against this barrage of fast bowling, it's only very soon that he's going to pop one up to short leg or to gully, because there's something happening today. The sun's out, there's definitely a lot more bounce and the odd ball which is rearing on the batsman. So I don't think they're going to get very close to Australia's total.
Okay, however close they've reached so far, all thanks to that one man. Virat Kohli got his 25th Test century, and many were of the opinion that this was one of his finest. Let's take a look at how he got all his runs, those 100+ runs that he scored, and it's an all-round display as you'd expect with Virat Kohli. And this is something that we score square of the wickets. Both sides is where he tends to get most of his runs out of. VVS, on that, would you say one of the finest innings considering the bowling attack, the way the bowling attack was bowling and the conditions on offer?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it, because you always compare with the other batsmen who are playing in the same innings or in the same match, and that's why this really stands out, because the authority with which he went out and got runs when other batsmen were not really comfortable and against quality bowling lineup. And when you see that wagon wheel, again, yes, we're talking a lot about the cover region, but some of the off drives which he hit, or some of the straight drive which he hit, right from the first boundary hit of the second ball he faced yesterday, there was complete balance in his position. in the stance is very balanced, but also the way he was leaning forward, the way he was in total control when he's playing those shots was unbelievable. And whenever the ball was short, he was also not afraid to play the back foot shots or like the uppercut. Like today, he got a 6 playing that uppercut. So I think he was in total control. And while he played a lot of deliveries, but this innings was a dominating innings.
Right.
While it will be one of the slowest hundreds
Yes.
Virat has got in his career, but this has been a dominating innings. The way he was leaving the balls, the way he was getting in a good position to play those shots.
Talking about dominating, Australia is one place where Virat Kohli has dominated. Not only does he like playing against Australia, he also likes playing in Australia. That's illustrated by this graphic that we've got on our screen. This is most test hundreds in Australia by visiting batsmen. You've got this Sir Jack Hobbs right on top, Wally Hammond at the second spot, and then you've got Virat Kohli there. In just 10 matches, he's got 600s, and that's what, 1152 runs. Damien, I mean, I know Australian fans at one end of that may not be happy that he's getting too many runs, but I know Australian fans also like a competitive cricket. He must be one of those most loved cricketers in Australia, you'd say.
He's and all around the world, isn't he? Look at, 10 Test matches there. He's on that list already with 600s. He'll be the top.
Yeah.
Not long going forward. And look, I think everybody wants to watch quality players. And as we heard there, he took that in. It doesn't matter how many balls it takes or how slow it was. He assessed the conditions. He saw how the wicket was playing, and he came out and he's still positive. And you can be positive by just leaving the ball. It's your body language. It's how you go about it with your partner. It's showing the other team, okay, I'm here to play. I've got a game plan. And he did that. And as the innings went on, he just progressed and progressed. And, he's upset how he got out. I think he's always going to be upset when he gets out, because I think he knew that he could have made 200. He could have really put India in a big position today, and he takes that responsibility on, and that's why his numbers show what he does.
Talking about matching up to the legends, we showed you he was behind Sir Jack Hobbs as far as most runs in Australia are concerned. Now he's behind Sir Donald Bradman as far as reaching 25 test tons quickest. So he's second quickest on that list, and he's just 3 innings faster than Sachin Tendulkar. At one point, you could never imagine anyone going past Sachin Tendulkar. That's how good he was. This man's doing it.
Look, actually, every one of us is running out of whatever analogies, adjectives, all the superlatives you can say, because every time you think of something, he comes up with something different. And over here, when you look at him, when he was doing well in white ball cricket, people said that, he's not going to get too many runs in Test cricket. So the cynics were always out there. But the thing is that with Virat Kohli, what has been exhilarating is that every time he is gone, he's done something different. Just the sheer dint of hard work, sheer passion or the drive to succeed. And look, on this wicket, it might not have been an attacking innings, but as Laxman the other day pointed out, intent is not just about playing shots. Intent is about how you defend, how sure-footed you are when you go either on the back foot or the front foot and play those shots. And except for that edge, which ultimately got him, you're obviously going to have a few play and misses. He just looked completely at ease on that surface, where it was seeming as if he was batting on one surface and the others were on a completely different surface. So that's how he has been. So that tells you a big story. People like AB de Villiers, when they look out of sorts and Virat Kohli looks at ease, you know that this man is on top of everybody's game.
Do you get the feeling that a good contest fires him up? When things are going easy, he's not at his best. But when, the team is under the pump, the situation is tough, that's where he gives his best.
No, he's internally motivated. Yeah. Because I can't forget the double hundred he got against a weak Bangladesh attack in Hyderabad on a flat, placid wicket. So I think he's internally driven, he's self-motivated, he takes a lot of pride going out and getting runs for his team, irrespective of which team he's playing. And I think that shows in not only the runs he gets, the manner he conducts himself, the amount of hard work he's put to become really physically fit, the sacrifices he's made as far as his diet is concerned. I mean, he's from Delhi, and North Indians love their food,
yes.
But to not eat for almost one year where he didn't have rice.
Even now he doesn't.
He doesn't. And follow the gluten-free diet. That discipline is just unbelievable, and that rubs on the other players as well, and that's why he's become a role model. But when you're out there, players like Tendulkar, players like Virat Kohli, they challenge themselves. They're challenging themselves, they're competing with themselves, they're not competing with the bowlers or with any other batsmen. They're competing with themselves and they want to achieve excellence, and that's what we've seen Virat Kohli. Yes, he loves the pressure, he loves the challenges, and that's why in one-day cricket also the amount of hundreds he got while chasing, means he loves that competition.
Okay, he summed it up really well for a
Why,
North
why,
Indian.
why alone the teammates? Even his family have been forced to get the allergy test done and they have to follow the food.
Oh, okay.
No, but he summed it up really well. For a North Indian to stay away from button chicken or chola bhaturas, which he has managed to do, if he has that mental resolve, then he can face up to any challenge in international cricket as well. Okay, we are getting viewers' questions coming in for our expert. We've got one, and this is no surprise, on Virat Kohli. Shahid wants to know, is Kohli the greatest batsman since Bradman? He thinks yes. Damien, what do you think?
Well, there's a lot out there, but at the moment with those figures, he's right up there. I mean, Bradman, very hard to even get close to those numbers. They're extraordinary. But as you mentioned, I mean, when we saw Tendulkar, no one thought anybody get close to Tendulkar and what he did. And now Kohli's above that. So, yes, you know, he's definitely up there. And the scary thing I think, for world cricket, he's going to get better and make more runs and make more centuries. Where's he going to stop?
Okay, the one image that really sums up his inning today, we were talking about, it may have been slow, but it was gritty, was the fact that when the physio came onto the pitch, was nursing his elbow, he was nursing his bat, you know, looking at all those little edges. So his mind was there. He didn't even look at when the physio was just icing the elbow. His mind was, my bat needs to get all the runs.
So that tells you, as hard as nails as they come, and look, without an arm guard and then not even showing any signs of pain. Sometimes you do feel pain, but you don't show it, is what every batsman says about taking those blows. But it's just the mental resolve is just amazing. I think having played with him, I keep repeating this, having played with him, I've only seen Ricky Ponting's work ethic very close to what Virat Kohli's is, and what they do. It's not just about batting, it's about the hard yards on the field, spending time with their mates on the while fielding and outside in the gym, and just it actually it makes you feel as if blood will come out of your eyes the way they put themselves under pressure. So it's just amazing. It's just amazing what he manages to do, so that drive can be in big capitals, that drive within.
Yes, that is. He's completely driven to get all those runs. Okay, we're taking many questions from Facebook, but those of you who are watching us on YouTube can also send your questions and we'll try and take that. We've got one already from YouTube, and this is Neil Bora. He wants to know, will the first innings lead define the outcome of the game? VVS, you want to take that?
It can have a huge influence, there's no doubt. Even if you get a 50-75 runs lead, I think that will become really challenging for India chasing in the last innings. So definitely it will have a big influence, because we have to remember that as the match progresses, it's going to deteriorate. It's already showing signs of the deterioration in the first session, because the sun is out, and once that happens, you saw the wicket also this morning, it's dried up compared to the first day where there's so much of grass cover. You can easily see and spot the cracks, which we didn't see yesterday as well. So I think it's going to be tough for batting. It will have a huge influence on the result of this game.
Okay, another stat I'm going to throw at you. It took him, 1,455 balls to hit a 6 now in Test cricket. That's how long the gap has been. The last 6 he hit was in England, and it's taken him that time. You know, he's an attacking batsman. We've seen it in the T20 format. We keep talking about T20 versus Test cricket. How tough it is for an attacking batsman like Virat Kohli then to restrain himself and play according to the conditions.
I think there are two things. One is the mental discipline. Controlling of your instincts, and that's so important if you have to be successful in all the three formats, because all the three formats requires a different approach to batting. Now the toughest challenge for Virat Kohli is he knows that he's got the capacity or capability of hitting 6 even in test match cricket, and sometimes in test match cricket hitting 6 will become easier because there are not many fielders on the boundary compared to a T20 or a ODI. But he knows that for him to be consistent, the more number of boundaries he gets and hits the ball along the ground, the better the chance of him getting his hundreds, his double hundreds. And I've seen it even in India. When he was playing against the spinners, where he can easily step out and hit 6s, he didn't. He was trying to play the high percentage shot along the ground, and that shows that he's got control over his instincts. And for him, adaptability is so important. You know, and it's tough for all three format player, because moving from T20 and one day and coming and playing test match cricket is always very tough. You know, especially you tend to chase the ball outside the off stump, you try to play rash, flamboyant shots which may not get you out in test match cricket. But he knows how to adapt, he knows how to change the gears, and playing according to the situation is his forte.
Okay, we've got another question now coming in, and this is on Rishabh Pant. Now remember, he's come out to bat, and this is from Dushyant Singh Shekhawat. What should be the approach of Rishabh Pant now? Soumya Chatterjee also on YouTube has a similar question. I think what they're trying to ask is that he was restrained to begin with, changed his style of play, but now that India's lost all those wickets, should he now change?
You know whom you should ask this question to? The man on my left, because
Yeah,
he spent
he
a lot
spent
of time with. So he would know. He can actually
Sure.
possibly, if Rishabh Pant can hear, Laxman, how
Send him a
can
message.
farm? How to farm the strike?
Yeah, I think he should be farming the strike, but he's got the license now. Go and play his natural game.
Okay.
Because now the advantage which Rishabh Pant has is once he has the freedom, then he can go out and play. Whatever shots. Till Virat Kohli, the set batsman, was out there, I think it was very important for him to just occupy the crease and give the best chance to develop their partnership. But now with Ishant Sharma and the other bowlers, Umesh and Bumrah, to play alongside him, I think it's very important to play all the strokes, but farm the strike. Because there's no point in taking a single of the second ball or third ball, exposing the bowler and giving him an opportunity to take a wicket. I think it's very important, farm the strike, but play the big shots.
Okay, plenty of people asking that particular question that VVS has just answered. What should be Rishabh Pant's approach? Many questions coming in on YouTube. I'm sure you got your answer there. Okay, got another question for Rishabh Pant. This is coming via Facebook, and Rohan Shukla wants to know what should be Rishabh Pant's approach to Nathan Lyon after lunch. It's a similar question, but Damien, I'll let you answer this one.
Yeah, it's similar to what Laxman just said then. I think you farm the strike and pick your deliveries. I mean, any chance getting close to Australia's score would be great for India. He knows his game now. He knows the score, and it's 7 down. It's then just being, watch your game, but let's not go overboard and be high risk in a sense. But pick your deliveries. Try and farm the strike and say, okay, Nathan Lyon, 1 or 2 balls this over, I want to score a boundary, or I want to get back on strike next over. So it's pretty simple in that sense. He's just now got to execute it and also try and get his partner into the game as well and just build a partnership, because as the partnership builds, it's more pressure on Australia to try and think, well, we want to bowl India out now and start getting into our batting.
Okay, we are celebrating Virat Kohli's 100 here, but that 100 was possible because of little partnerships that he had. First with Pujara, then with Rahane, and then with Vihari as well. I'm going to talk to you about Vihari. 20 odd runs he got. There were question marks over whether he's fit to play Test cricket or not. But whatever you saw of him in that time, did he look like there to play at the top
I don't know
level?
why the question marks were there, because he's got an average of 60. Has done well for India A. In England as well, he got 100 for India A against the Lions, the England Lions. So I believe that he got a 50 on debut in challenging conditions. So I think it's very important to back a youngster. And 20 runs he played, he looked solid in defence. And that's so important, whether you're playing Nathan Lyon or whether you're playing the fast bowlers on a wicket like we are seeing at Perth. It's always tough for a youngster to make runs against quality bowlers in these kind of conditions, whether it's Perth, whether it's Durban. It's always going to be challenging. So, but he looked good, and he looked calm and composed, and that's so important. At Oval, you can understand, first innings he was looking jittery, he was looking nervy, but today was looking calm and composed, coming in good position. What he will learn from the way he got out was when the ball is at length, you can see from Virat Kohli, you can leave that ball. But it was too close, it was a very good delivery to get him out.
Yeah, dare I say, with that period when Nathan Lyon was bowling very well, he looked the better of the two between Virat and him. Virat had a few leading edges, he played him very well.
Exactly. And I think he's somebody who plays spin really well. That is something which you've seen from very early days. And also there were the odd few times when he had that confident whip, which he played to mid-wicket and long on. So that tells you that he's gained in confidence. Obviously, everybody is nervous when you're playing the first Test match. I, for one, I had my own doubts, to be very honest, about how he would shape up at Perth, but he looked very, very comfortable. So it's good on him that he has done that, and hopefully he can go on from strength to strength, because we definitely need a solid lower order batsman if he can be that one. So it'll be good for India. Okay,
a quick word, Damien, from you on the way Vihari got out. As VVS was saying, that was a beautiful delivery, a Jaffer of a delivery. Anything any batsman could have done. It just reminded me, because we keep comparing Hazelwood to McGrath, that perfect length and got the edge.
Yeah, look, I mean, I couldn't face McGrath anyway in the net, so I used to go the Allen net. So it's one of those ones, isn't it, that the bowler wins sometimes. They bowl the perfect delivery. You can try and do as much as you can, and sometimes you just can't. And as we said, I think on that wicket, that McGrath sort of length and the way they bowl is the way to go. It's but sometimes as a batsman, we all think we can't get out and we're the best at what we do. But sometimes you've got to maybe say the bowler wins. I know Murali will think that, but as batsmen, we always think we're going to win.
Okay, we've got another question, and this is on India's bowling. This has come from YouTube, and we've got, who's this? Ronak Sinha wants to know, is Indian attack one-dimensional in terms of pace for the second innings?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You can say that it's quite varied. If you look at it, Bumrah is different, Mohammad Shami is very different, Ishant Sharma is different, Umesh Yadav. I think that the pace is all up there. In terms of pace, possibly they are very close to one another. But in terms of what they do, the lengths they hit, the angles they bring in, I think they are very, very different. So I wouldn't agree with it.
Okay, we've got another question. We'll quickly take that before moving into that segment where we test our experts. That's called Fab 4. But this is Sri Ravi Teja. He wants to know, how is the pitch going to behave in the third and the fourth innings?
Get the crystal ball out.
I don't think even the curator can answer that. But VVS. Okay, Damien, since you've played all your domestic cricket, not at the Optus, but in and around that area, it's not too far from the Optus Stadium. Go ahead, hazard a guess.
I've played as much cricket there as you have. How's the wicket going to play? Hang on, I'll just get my crystal ball. Yes, I mean it's going to crack up more, and with the heat, if there's heat coming, it's going to crack up more. I think Lyon's going to play a big part in the last innings. Will India be chasing 200, 250? It's going to be a good challenge, but the wicket will play up. We see that in all Test cricket, from the start to the end, it deteriorates. Scores can get lower. It's just working out. Who's going to make their mark? I've got a funny feeling that I think Lyon's going to play a big part in the second innings.
Okay, anything over 100 would be tough, as VVS was mentioning. Okay, we've got a quick question here, and this is with regards to the Indian bowlers, but their batting. Why was Shami sent ahead of Ishant Sharma? Is a question we've asked, and I'm asking you because you spent a lot of time with Ishant on the crease.
Yeah, I would have thought that Ishant should have come ahead of Shami because at that time with Rishabh Pant at the other end, you wanted someone who was better in defending, because I've batted a lot with Ishant, played a lot with Ishant, while Shami can go out and play the big shots. Umesh Yadav can also play the big shots. Umesh Yadav has got, I think, a first class 100, but amongst the four, I think Ishant has got more confidence in defending the ball than probably the other three. So I would have probably sent Ishant ahead of Shami.
And we've got a question from Pradeep Sahu.
It's interesting that this is the first time that someone is asking why a particular bowler, because always there is a little bit of competition amongst the bowlers who is going before the other gun.
It depends. If the wicket is very fast, then they also fight for the number 11 spot.
Okay, we've got Pradeep Sahu on YouTube, and he's reiterating what you've been saying. Now India will miss Bhuvneshwar Kumar, the batsman, too.
Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Ravindra Jadeja. Again, I'll come back. When Nathan Lyon will play a big part, imagine if there are cracks from the middle of the pitch, which can happen at Perth. Imagine what Ravindra Jadeja could have done on that surface as well. I think he's a capable enough bat, and that's why you keep harping on a few things, because it's not about the first day. It's not about the first day of the Test cricket. It's about the fourth day, the second innings, and so many other facets of the game. And even on this surface, see, we allowed Australia to get to 326. We weren't exceptionally good, because this wicket had more to offer than Adelaide, and we were a lot more disciplined in Adelaide than we were at Perth, where there were things for the bowlers. So so you have to look at everything.
Okay, time now to turn our attention to Fab 4. Now, this is a segment where we ask our experts to pick the 4 players one needs to look at on the day that is going to be coming in Test cricket. So, we had VVS Laxman, Murali Kartik and Damien Martyn. All of them picked that those 4 players that they wanted. So, here's the scoring system first up that you had for this. Each run by the player gets 1 point, 50 run, get you 10 point bonus, 100 runs, get you 20 point bonus. I'm sure a lot of our viewers now are quite familiar with these rules. Each wicket by a player, again 20 points, 3 wicket haul, 5 wicket haul, all get you bonus point, and then the bowler with the best strike rate for the day also gets you 20 bonus point. Catch, direct hit, all 10 points, joint effort catch also gets you 5 points. Then points a player earns is for that particular day only. Experts playing the game will earn points. every day of the test, and then the one with the most points at the end of the test is the winner. Up until now, just to recap, for those of you who haven't been watching, Murali Kartik has been leading on day 1, on day 2 as well. VVS Laxman has been trailing. Damien Martyn has maintained the second spot. Let's quickly take a look at how they're performing. My gut feeling says Damien Martyn's day today because he picked those 3 Australian fast bowlers. If I can recall, we'll start with Kartik. He's got 75 points on day 3, all thanks to Virat
Should we
Kohli.
be getting for the 100?
Yes.
He can't get 100 on day 1 for first day. If he's unbeaten 81, all of us should be getting those extra points for the 100,
but
isn't
the
it?
rules is only on the day. So he needs to get 100
Yes.
runs
I think
on
they need
the
to
day.
have a rethink, just like the ICC has to have a rethink on many things.
I'll pass it on to the committee then that formulates these rules. For the moment, you're only getting runs on the day. You cannot carry that forward. The points you can carry forward, that are the points that you've earned. Okay, VVS Laxman, 61 points. Again, all down to Virat Kohli and Josh Hazelwood, giving him those 20 points. But you had Rishabh Pant, so he's given you some points as well. Okay, Damien Martyn, I remember he had picked 3 Australian fast bowlers. He had also gone with Virat Kohli. So Virat has got him point, and Hazelwood's got him point, Nathan Lyon's got him point, and my guess was correct. He is the one who's leading at the moment. He's already got 100 before lunch. That's incredible for a batsman to do. 101. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the
Only
leader.
time I got that.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the leaderboard now. Murali Kartik is the overall leaderboard. Remember, for day 1, day 2, Murali Kartik was the leader, so he continues there at 362 points, but very close on his heels there. Damien Martyn, 361. It's all down to that 1 point. VVS Laxman trailing 270. He is, but as we all know that VVS Laxman always does well in the second innings. He'll come back when the teams come out. That is Australia and India. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Murali Kartik, VVS Laxman.
Please pass on my, what should I say, complaints to the higher committee.
To the organizing committee or the committee that has formulated the rules. We'll look into that. For the moment, that's all that we have for you. This was Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.